Today we're going to have a look at a crazy little thing called love. Stick around. Hello everyone, it's James from Practice Like a Pro, providing you with simple, clear guitar tips to help you on your guitar playing journey. So we're going to have a look at a crazy little thing called love today. So I'm going to put the tabs and the chord sheets on screen, but if you'd like a hard copy, head into the description or the pinned comment, and we've got a private Facebook group that you can join, and you can actually download the PDFs to print at home. Let's get into it. So the bit that everybody wants to learn, let's tackle that first. So it's got a D chord and what we call a D sus4, which is basically a D chord, but we put as pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E string to kind of give it this floaty, lovely sound. So here's what we're going for. Let's break that down. So I'm going to play a D chord for a down and an upstroke in quavers. Then I'm going to take the little finger and place it onto the high E string to get that D sus4 and do another downstroke. So far you've got, just practice that for me. And then immediately you're going to take the pinky off to give yourself the regular D chord. You're going to do another upstroke. Then we're going to round the phrase off with an up, a down, and an up with the D chord. So I like to split that into 2 sections. I like to do as the first section, and then the up, down, up as kind of the second part of it. So whether you want to practice those individually, then glue it together, that's the approach I take to most things. Down, up, down, up, down, up. And it's got a swing to it as well. So if you play it super duper straight, it's not going to sound right. You want to be able to kind of move to it a little bit. And that's what makes the tune, that's why it's such a good tune. So we've got 4 bars of that as the intro. And then you'll hear the rest of the band come in and the verse starts. Now you'll notice in this transcription, I've got the rhythm in the first bar, and then we've just got 4 dashes per bar as we move through. Now this is just to save cluttering the page up. The rhythm stays exactly the same. It's just telling you to repeat the rhythm that was previously quoted. So moving on into the verse. Now you've 2 options here. When I play this in bands, I do the over all the D chords in the song. It's entirely up to you. If you're just getting going with guitar, I'd just stick to a regular D chord and follow this pattern. If you're a little bit more advanced and you want a challenge, try sticking, just ignore it on the sheet music, the strumming pattern that we're going to talk about in a second, and do the little D to D sus figure. With a new strumming pattern to look at for the verse, and this kind of sticks around for the whole song. So let's look into it. It's down, down, up, down. Do that again. Down, down, up, down. And if you swing it, it starts to sound a little bit more like Queen. So with 2 bars of that in the verse, we're going to move to a G chord, and it's exactly the same. Then we've got a C and a G that share a bar. Now you'll see that the rhythm's changed. All I want you to do with these is 2 C's, 2 G's, and those are with downstrokes. So the first 4 bars. Moving on into the next 4 bars of the verse, it's exactly the same as what you've previously done. You know, you go back to that rhythm, you see the D comes with the slashes to G, C, C, G, G. Then moving into bar 13, you've got D. Now you've got B flat, C, D, and you'll hear that resolution. Let's talk through it, and then we'll let's finish off this section, then we'll talk about that B flat. So you've got D, B, 1 B, 2 B flats, 2 C's, D, and then you'll see in the last bar there's just 1 stroke on that D chord, and that's because the whole band stops and it gives it like a bit of a pause before it all starts again. So if you ever see 1 slash and then those 3 squiggly lines mean rests. So you just want to play a beat 1 and then mute. You don't want to let it ring out. you want it to stop, and you'll hear that in the tune. It might be worth you just kind of getting a pencil, printing it out, go to the Facebook group in the description, download the PDF, print it out, and just tap a pencil to the beat of it just to see how it changes before you pick up your guitar and have a go with it. So let's talk about the B flat before we move into the mid section. So I'm playing the traditional kind of bar chord, A-shaped bar chord. You could also do the little workaround, which looks like that. It's like you almost treat it like a D chord. Or you could go one further still and just play the treble 3 strings. It's going to be, this is what stops a lot of people learning this song, is that B flat, and they get scared by it. Throw yourself in it. It is one of the easier bar chords. Yeah, it's at the bottom of the neck, but it's not too tricky, and we need a challenge. And as well, everybody wants to learn to play Queen because they're great, and it is going to have some tricky chords in it. So try one of those two options. What you can do to the C, what I do sometimes, rather than playing the bar chord, then go into the C chord, you could play the bar chord, and because it's a bar chord and we're on B flat, you can move it up 2 frets and do that. Completely open to interpretation, you just do what's best for you. Moving into the midsection, we go back to the strumming pattern from the verse. Down, down, up, up, down. And with 2 bars of G, C, G. Then the dreaded B flat, ooh, is coming back, so we've got 2 bars of B flat. Then we've got 2 E's, 2 A's, and then we've got an F, and if you notice, it ends the same way that the verse does. It's just going to be the one stab of the F, and then you want to mute everything. So again, you can play the bar chord F if you're a little bit more advanced. You could play F major 7 if you want. Or you can play, if you watch the, I'll put a card up, the House of the Rising Sun video, you can use what I call Little F, which is like a 4-string version of it. Either way, again, completely open to interpretation, and whether you play it one way or the other, it's not gonna make a load of difference. So just do what's best for you again. Let's play that whole midsection. She drives me crazy. She knows how to rock and roll. She drives me crazy. I've forgotten the words. So yeah, that's what we're going for. Following that, we've got a little bit of tab, and I've sort of pinched the a bit of the bass, and just to kind of make it a little bit more interesting to play. When I play this in bands, I put these parts in just to kind of make the sound a bit bigger. So we've got, on the A string, 5, 4, 3. Now, I'm using ring finger, middle finger, index finger for that. Try not to do this. Even though it sounds quite staccato, try and sort of use the correct fingers. It'll pay you dividends later on. So we're going to go 5, 4, 3 on the A string, and then we're going to move towards the ceiling and do the same thing on the low E string. But we've got a little gap in between. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. And you'll hear some kind of like, it's almost like a drumstick clicking on the edge of the snare or something. Ba-da-dan, ba-da-dan. And then we're going to go to an E major chord at the very bottom. You can use E7 if you want. And we're going to hit it in quavers for the full bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's pretty brisk. And you want to hit them all at the kind of same velocity. I've talked about in previous videos the sort of big little strumming pattern where you vary the strumming. This one is actually, it's the same velocity and it's quite hard all the way through it. So you've got... So the bit that follows those chords we've got... Now you'll want to play that open string at the bottom. Don't, because it's actually taken up by the chord, which is the first beat of the verse. So what we're going to do, we're going to play the 2nd fret on the G twice with a down and an upstroke, and we're using his index finger to fret. Then I'm going to let go and pick the open G twice, again with a down and an upstroke. Then I'm going to use my ring finger to come across to the 4th fret of the D string, 2 of those. So you've got 2, 2, 0, 0, 4, 4. And then with my index finger, I'm going to go to the 2nd fret of the same string and just hit it once, not twice. Now the reason we're not picking that twice is we want to give ourselves a little bit more time to get back round to the verse. Let's glue all those 4 bars together. So following that, we've got a verse. Now, instead of going around it twice like we did at the beginning of the song, you're only going to do it once. And it's exactly the same. Same strumming pattern, you're going back to... It's just the same. So we're going to gloss over that. That's bar 29 through to bar 40. Then when we get to the solo, I'm not going to cover the solo today for the simple reason that I want this to be as accessible as possible. If you want me to do the solo, let me know in the comments and that's something I can sort out. So going into the rhythm parts for the solo, we're just going to do the same strumming pattern, down, down, up, up, down. We're going to start with 2 bars of B flat. Then we're going to go to D. 2 more bars of B flat. E, A, F. So it's almost like you've mixed the midsection and the verse together to create its own little part. And obviously Brian May, in a masterful fashion, just plays over the changes, and it's such a great rock solo. So yeah, if you're at that point in your playing, it might be worth you taking a look at. Like I say, if you want me to do a lesson, let me know in the comments. So to follow that in bar 49, we're going to come out of the solo the same way that we came out of the midsection with 5, 4, 3, 5, so 5. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3, E, 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 E. Now instead of finishing with, we're just going to finish with an A chord stab. So you've got 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3, E, E, A. So then we've got a break, and there's not really anything that you can do in this because they're all just, it's like an a cappella kind of thing and they're all clapping. So, it's quite a lengthy section as well, so go get a beer up, make a cup of tea, do whatever you do. Following that, we've got a verse, and it's exactly the same as the other verses. However, when you get to the B flat and the C, you repeat that, and you just kind of go B flat, C, D, B flat, C, D, and it just kind of, it goes round and round and round into a fade out. Let's pick it apart. So I'm going from bar 57. So you've got D to G, C, G. Repeat it. G, C, G, D. And it's the crazy little thing called love. And it just repeats it. Crazy little thing called love. So that's from bar 68. And I ain't really specified how many times that you do that because it just loops it round and round and round up to a fade out. And also it depends which version that you've got at home. I hope that's helped and it's given you plenty to keep you busy. Let us know in the comments how you're getting on with it. Don't forget to go to the Facebook group and get the free PDF. You don't have to, I don't need any of your details or anything like that. It's somewhere that you can ask me questions if you're struggling with this. So please do check it out. If you like what we do here at Practice Like a Pro, please do consider subscribing. We upload multiple guitar lessons a week. And if you'd like to learn something else, have a look at some of those other videos. Until I see you next time, thank you very much. Keep practicing like a pro. Cheers.